There are a lot of stock trading apps out there to choose from, and they all work pretty well, but there's 3 in particular that I personally use, so I thought I'd cover those in this video because I know them pretty well inside and out, and they don't charge any commissions, which is really awesome because if you buy or sell shares with any of these companies that I'm going to mention, you don't have to pay any trading fees, and that's just awesome. So in this video, I'll cover all of their pros and their cons so that you can decide for yourself which app is more for your style of investing based on the 3 apps that I'm going to be talking about. Now, the apps that I'm going to be talking about in this video go specifically to Robinhood, M1 Finance, and then Webull because each of these unique brokerages have their own pros and cons, and that's what we're going to be going over. I'll go into more detail here in just a minute, but Robinhood is basically for your beginner investors, M1 Finance is more for your beginner investors that are more hands-off, and then Webull is definitely for the intermediate to advanced investors because of all their different research tools that they have built into the app. And like I said earlier, all of these brokerages offer commission-free trading. So that means that if you're buying or selling shares, you don't ever have to pay a commission with them. And that's just awesome because it's going to save you a lot of money. Now let's start with Robinhood because in my opinion, I think that they're the best investing app out there if you're a beginner to intermediate investor and you like to do things manually because honestly, Robinhood is extremely user-friendly and everything they do just seems to make sense. Nothing's too complicated or overwhelming, and that's a good thing when it comes to investing because you really do want things simple, especially when you're a beginner. Robinhood doesn't require a minimum balance, so technically you can get started with any amount of money that you want to. And on top of that, they make buying and selling shares so easy that it's really hard to misunderstand what you're doing. If you do want to learn more about how to use Robinhood, I have some more videos that I'll link up here for you guys that you can watch later. So if you have an interest learning more about Robinhood, check those out, but let's just keep going. Now they do have some data to help you research companies, but if you want in-depth historical dividend data, or if you want a company's financials, then you're gonna have to research it somewhere else because currently you can't find any of that kind of information on Robinhood, just some basic information. They at least have historical graphs that'll go up to 5 years, so that's a good start right there. And then if you go below the graph, you're always gonna see basic stats like the dividend yield, the market cap, and the PE ratio, which is something that you can always use to do some basic research on a company. Robinhood does offer margin trading. They've also got free options trading, and then they've got free cryptocurrency trading as well, which is something that I haven't seen on any of the other apps. So if you are interested in crypto trading, then Robinhood is somewhere where you might want to be looking. They're also working on a cash management account that kind of works like a high interest savings account for all of the cash that you have inside of Robinhood that's not being currently invested. And then if you want to have access to that cash, they're also going to have a debit card available so that you can get your money out quickly. They're advertising right now that the yield of the account is going to be 1.8%, but obviously that can go up and down naturally. And then keep in mind that the cash management system is still in the works, so hopefully that'll be functioning soon. And remember that Robinhood is 100% active investing. So if you have any cash in your account or you get any dividends, then you are the one responsible for putting that money into assets, whether they're going to be good or bad in the long term or the short term. So essentially, you're going to have to be the one that makes all of the investment decisions inside of Robinhood. And if you don't like that and you want something more automatic, then Robinhood, as of this moment, is not a good choice for you. Also, they currently only offer individual taxable accounts. So if you want to do something like a Roth IRA or an IRA for your retirement that's tax sheltered, then you can't do that with Robinhood as of now because they don't offer those types of accounts. So if you are planning on saving up for retirement through Robinhood, definitely don't do that because you always want to take advantage of those tax savings when you can. But overall, if you're just looking for general investing that you can do yourself, then I would definitely recommend checking out Robinhood because they are very user-friendly, like I said, and they are so simple and easy to use that you really can't go wrong. And if you guys are liking this video so far, can you please just give it a big thumbs up so that I can tell if you're liking this type of content, and then I'll know if I need to make more of this in the future or not. Thank you very much. Next on my list goes to M1 Finance because currently they are the easiest and the simplest stock trading app that I found out there because not only can you invest manually just like on Robinhood, but you can also set it up automatically with M1 Finance. So if you don't want to do anything, you can just set up your investments on auto and then they'll do all the work for you. Now, the coolest thing about M1 Finance is that you can buy fractional shares with them, which means that you can buy tiny little portions of companies that otherwise might be too expensive on a per share basis. Because if you wanted to buy one share of Google right now today, it would cost you over $1,500 on a per share basis. But with M1 Finance, you can invest in as low as 1/100,000th of a share. So pretty much you can afford anything that's on the stock market. So normally it'd be really hard to consistently invest in companies like Google and Amazon because their shares are so expensive. But with M1 Finance, they make it possible to invest actively with those companies because they make it so affordable. And really quick, I do want to mention that Robinhood has announced that they're going to be doing fractional shares as well. So just keep that in mind. They haven't rolled it out quite yet, but hopefully soon. Now keep in mind that once your account is set up with M1 Finance, they do require that you at least have a $10 minimum every time you make trades. So just keep that in mind. You can't buy a penny of a company just because of their fractional share trading. You have to at least invest $10 every time you trade with them. And they also require $100 initially to set up an account. So just keep that in mind when you're setting up with M1 Finance, that you got to have at least $100 to get set up. And then after that, it's just $10 minimums, whether it's automatic or manual investing. M1 Finance offers individual accounts, joint accounts, retirement accounts, and even trust accounts. So pretty much anything for the long term, M1 Finance is definitely a good option to go with. You can even roll over your 401ks into M1 Finance, but just keep in mind if you are going to set up a retirement account with them, that they do require an initial $500 investment to get started with their retirement accounts. Now, because M1 Finance lets you use the fractional shares feature, it's really easy to set up automatic investing with them. So if you have any cash with them or you have any dividends, you can actually set it up automatically so that once it's set up, they do everything for you and you don't have to do a thing. So once you've got at least $10 saved up with them, they'll automatically invest that in whatever you've set up to invest in, or you can even make it easier and you can just go with their expert pies that they've already set up for you if you don't even want to do any research. They've got a ton of different categories that you can choose from, so no matter what type of an investor you are, they're going to have something that you can choose from in that expert pie selection so that you don't have to do any research. You just select the expert pie and then go with whatever they've selected. And the cool thing is that M1 Finance is never going to charge you anything for any of their expert pies. The only fees that are ever going to be associated are fees that are already inside the funds that are inside the pie, but everybody has to pay those like on an ETF or something like that. So for instance, if you invested in one of their expert pies and it happened to have an index fund in it that had an expense of like 0.03%, then that's just something that everybody has to pay across the entire stock market, no matter what brokerage you're using. But as far as M1 collecting commissions on their expert pies, they don't do that, and that is really awesome. And I realize that I keep talking about pies when it comes to M1 Finance, but that's how you invest with them. Just imagine it as kind of like a giant pizza, and each slice is going to be your different investments inside of the pie, and that's how they do it, just to keep things really simple and straightforward. Now, if you do plan on buying and selling shares frequently, then I probably wouldn't use M1 Finance for that type of trading because currently they only have one trading window that you can actually buy and sell shares from. So once a day is all that you can make trades from, and that's not good if you're going to be doing day trading or swing trading or anything like that. And then on top of that, the only type of order that you can do with M1 Finance is a market order. So if you want anything fancier than that, then you're going to have to go elsewhere because M1 doesn't offer it. And then just like Robinhood, M1 Finance also doesn't have a lot of research tools built into the app. So if you want to do a lot of thick research on companies, you're going to have to go elsewhere, which isn't really that big of a deal, but they're just not inside the app. In my opinion, I feel like M1 Finance is more for your dividend investors and then your retirement investors that want to keep their money for the long term, because that's what M1 Finance is really built upon. So if you want very simple or automated investing, then I would definitely check out M1 Finance because they are a very good option if you want to keep things extremely simple. Now, if you're looking to actively invest in the stock market and you want a ton of different tools that are built right into the app, then I would definitely check out Webull because that is going to be your best option for everything that's inside of the app as far as usability goes. Webull is completely active just like Robinhood is, and then they also don't require any minimum balances to get started. So technically, if you wanted to start investing with like $5, you can with Webull. They now offer retirement accounts too, so if you're looking to invest for the long term, then Webull is another good option for that. And then on top of that, they've also got free options trading as well, which is something new that they just unleashed. Webull is really cool because they offer a ton of different research and data. They have a social community, and then on top of that, they've even got paper trading, which means that you can trade on the stock market with fake money, but you can actually follow what's really happening. As far as research goes, you can track a company's history all the way to the beginning. You can even see their latest dividends. And then on top of that, you can even get their financial statements right inside of the app. The social community is really cool too because you can follow along different topics. You can make your own comments or posts about whatever you want to related to the stock market. And then everything is inside of Webull, which is really cool because it's just like a social network, except it's inside the app. And the last feature I want to talk about is called paper trading, and it's built right inside the Webull app. And what it means is that you can actually simulate real investments, but with fake money so that you can see how they do, but without any risk. So for an example, I started out my paper trading account with $1 million, and then I invested everything in Tesla just to see what would happen. And it looks like right now I am up over $500,000, but it's just simulated, so oh well. You can reset your money anytime you want to and just start over at any time. But the really cool thing about the Webull paper trading is that they actually have real competitions where you can win real prizes with the paper trading. And outside of the paper trading, Webull runs a ton of different promotions. So if you guys like referral bonuses or prizes and all sorts of stuff like that, then Webull is definitely the kind of place that you want to be trading stocks on, because if you do have referrals, they're always running promotions. Overall, I feel like Webull is a really good investing app, but honestly, a lot of their research tools can feel a little bit cluttered, so you are going to have to spend a little bit of time on the app to get used to it, but once you do, it's not that big of a deal. They are for sure a very complex trading app, so in my opinion, I feel like Webull is definitely for the intermediate to advanced trader, and that's pretty much what they're catered for. So just to reiterate, the Robinhood app is more for beginner investors that want to actively trade, and then M1 Finance is also a beginner app, but it's more on the automated side, and then Webull is definitely for the intermediate to advanced traders that really want to work with swing trading, day trading, and stuff like that. Now, if you do have an interest in any of these brokerage accounts, I've got affiliate links in the description below, which means I may be compensated if you click through them, but just keep in mind that I am never going to recommend a company that I don't think gives you guys the best value. Not to mention, you don't have to use the links if you don't want to. Also, right now, Webull will give you 2 free random stocks just for signing up. Robinhood will give you 1 free stock, and then M1 Finance, they don't have a referral bonus right now, but maybe they will in the future. Now, if you just found this channel, I'm Jason with Honest Finance, and I make a lot of videos on different topics that'll give your life and your finances more value. So feel free to subscribe if you guys want to. I'll leave some more stock trading videos that you can watch over here. But thank you for watching. That's all.